And now for our next news special report.
Folks, brace yourselves. The media is at it again, cooking up another Russia conspiracy. This time they're using Joe Biden's train wreck debate performance as kindling. You won't believe the links that they're going to spin this tale. We're diving headfirst into the mess, exposing the lies, and showing you what's really going on. But stick around until the end. My final thought on this fiasco is something you absolutely can't miss. It's time to separate fact from fiction. Now, folks, before we dive into this media circus, a quick word from our sponsor. You know how the mainstream media is always spinning tales? Well, your power company is doing the same thing with your energy bills. They're jacking up prices faster than Biden can forget his own name. But here's the kicker. I found a way to fight back. It's this nifty little device, plugs right into your wall, cutting down on wasted energy like I'm about to cut through these bogus Russia claims. Want to stick it to the power companies and keep more cash in your pocket? Head to don'twastepower.com for a 60-day risk-free trial, 65% off, and free shipping. Don't let them pull the wool over your eyes or empty your wallet. Order now at don'twastepower.com. So just when you thought the Russia hysteria was over, the mainstream media is dragging us back in. They're now pushing a wild theory that Russia might use Joe Biden's CNN debate disaster to mess with our election. It's like they're reading from an old, dusty playbook. On Tuesday, the White House press corps was at it again. They cornered Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre with a doozy of a question. Take a look at this exchange.
Denigrate politicians in the United States and elsewhere. Do you have any concerns right now that this is the leading edge of any part of a Russian effort to interfere in the election? Has the president been briefed on this? And have you seen any evidence that the Russians or other foreign powers have tried to seize on the debate performance to repeat some of the president's most embarrassing moments?
So that's a very good question. I would have to talk to our team about those particular questions that you just asked. There were multiple questions in your statement there. I would leave it to the Department of Justice as what they announced. Obviously, that's for them to speak to. Look, AI has always been a concern.
Did you catch that? When asked about Russia potentially using Biden's embarrassing moments, Jean-Pierre fumbled like a rookie quarterback. She dodged, she weaved, and then she tossed it to the Department of Justice. Real smooth, right? But here's the kicker. While Democrats are freaking out over Biden's obvious decline, the media is cooking up another Trump-Russia fairy tale. The Wall Street Journal is pushing some far-fetched story about Russia, launching a whole-of-government effort to help Trump win. Sound familiar? It should, because it's the same old song and dance from 2016 and 2020. Now let's hear from someone who actually knows a thing or two about media manipulation. Glenn Greenwald broke it down in his show System Update, and here's what he had to say.
One of the things that they're now trying to do that you are actually seeing is to rejuvenate the framework that is intended to convince Americans that the only reason they might be thinking negatively about Joe Biden or positively about Donald Trump is not because they actually have a mind of their own and are judging the two candidates based on how they remember his presidency, but instead it's because Russia, the Kremlin, Vladimir Putin, is once again interfering in our sacred democracy and manipulating, brainwashing the public to believe what they want the public to believe, namely that Joe Biden is a weak candidate and Donald Trump is the better one. Here from the Wall Street Journal today, this is their headline story. I just want you to take note not only of what they're trying to claim, but of the language that they use to do it. The headline is, Russia seeks to boost Trump in 2024 election. And then you have here the famous and all-prevalent formulation in U.S. media, U.S. intelligence officials say. So the Wall Street Journal isn't purporting to verify that Russia is seeking to boost Trump in the 2024 election. All they're doing is mimicking mindlessly what, quote, U.S. intelligence officials say.
He nails it. It's not journalism, it's stenography for the intelligence community. But wait, there's more. He goes on to expose the absurdity of the claims. Watch.
It's just a press release from anonymous people in the CIA. The Wall Street Journal goes on. Other foreign influence operations in the U.S. include attempts by Iran to covertly encourage protests against the war in Gaza, officials say. Quote, the Russian government has launched a, quote, whole of government effort. That's scary. It's not just parts of the government. It's the whole of government effort to influence the outcome of the U.S. presidential election and favors Republican candidate Donald Trump in the race. Senior U.S. intelligence officials said on Tuesday. And then it goes on, quote, the officials, these are the only, I mean, do you see how everything, none of this is reporting? It's just repeating what they were told by the officials. The officials didn't mention Trump by name, but said that Russia's current activity, described as covert social media use and other online propaganda efforts, mirrored the 2020 and 2016 election cycles when Moscow also favored Trump and sought to undermine Democratic candidates, according to U.S. intelligence agencies.
It's as clear as day, folks. This is not reporting. It's regurgitating whatever the CIA and FBI whisper in their ears. But he's not done yet. Greenwald delivers the knockout punch now. Watch.
How can you be someone who calls yourself a journalist? I believe the reporter here, Dustin Volz, calls himself an investigative journalist or whatever, and day after day publish articles that do nothing other than summarize what CIA and FBI officials have just whispered to you in your ear that they want you to go and report, and then you just go dutifully quote them and publish it in the paper under your byline without having the slightest idea if it's true, without even pretending to know if it's true. You're just summarizing what they've told you to go say. Quote, we haven't observed a shift in Russia's preferences for the presidential race from past elections, a senior official in the Office of the Director of National Intelligence said during a media briefing summarizing intelligence on foreign threats to the election. So DHS called some of their favorite servants, who call themselves journalists, called them to a secret briefing at a really impressive part of the national intelligence apparatus with all these blinking lights and cool machines and secretive access. These journalists are so grateful to be there. And they had a little briefing. They said, here's what we found. Now go tell the American public this. And then they dutifully walk out and go do exactly that. Quote, the warnings underscore how U.S. adversaries are continuing to exploit social media platforms and other avenues to manipulate public opinion, despite efforts by the intelligence and law enforcement agencies to expose and crack down on the influence operations. Now, you know exactly why this is being published. It's because Joe Biden is behind Donald Trump in all the polls. The U.S. intelligence agency despises Donald Trump. And just like they did in 2016 and 2020, they will continuously leak to gullible reporters all kinds of assertions unaccompanied by evidence that are designed to make Americans believe that the only reason they have negative perceptions of Biden and positive perceptions of Trump is because they're too stupid to think for themselves, and instead the Kremlin is manipulating them.
So there you have it, folks. The media is not interested in truth. They're just pushing a narrative. They want you to believe you're too dumb to think for yourself. That the only reason you might prefer Trump over Biden is because of some Russian mind control. Wake up, America. This is not about Russia. It's about covering for Biden's failures and trying to derail Trump's momentum. They're recycling old lies because they've got nothing else. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Listen up, folks. This Russia nonsense isn't just about Biden's debate flop. It's the deep state planting seeds early. Remember, these are the same spooks who called Hunter's laptop Russian disinformation. They're terrified because Trump's got a real shot at taking back the White House. Meanwhile, Biden's falling apart on the world stage. The intel community is desperate to keep their grip on power. Don't fall for their trap. Stay sharp. Stay informed, and remember, in our republic, the power should be with the people, not the puppeteers.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.